number 3 heading into year 2, now QB1. Hello, and thank you for joining us for our Countdown to Camp series. I'm Phil Milani, alongside Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala. This is the first installment of what we'll be doing the next 10 days leading into the start of training camp, answering the 10 biggest questions. And today we'll start out with what would be considered a successful season for Drew Lock. Sidney, let's start with you.
Hey, Phil. Yeah, I think to start a successful season for Drew Lock will mean staying healthy at the least and starting all 16 games, no doubt. But outside of that, I mean, let's just jump into, stat-wise. I think we could potentially see him racking up a 3,800, 4,000 passing yard season. I mean, that's about, if quick math, 250 yards per game. And I don't think that would be a ridiculous thing to say. I think maybe at least 25 touchdowns, kind of in that range, and maybe 13, 14 picks is going to be my guess. If we come out of the season and look back and those are his stats, I think that's a pretty successful season for this second-year starter.
Expectations for second-year quarterbacks have gone through the roof after the last couple of seasons. We could go over a couple of statistics here. In 2017, Carson Wentz had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and his team went 11-2. In 2018, Patrick Mahomes, 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and his team went 12-4. And then last year, Lamar Jackson, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and his team went 13-2. Eric, going to be hard to compete with those guys.
That's true. So 51's the bar then, I guess, huh?
Exactly.
No, I think Sydney's on the money there with that 3,800 to 4,000 yards. I don't think it's out of the question that he throws for 30 touchdowns with the targets that he has, with the new weapons and Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, in addition to Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant. But listen, I think if he gets to that 25 touchdown mark, 3,800 yards, can stay below 10 picks, that's going to put you in the top 15 of NFL quarterbacks based on last season. I mean, you're talking about guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, even Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins were kind of around some of those marks last year. And for me, more than anything, what that tells you is Drew Lock is the guy of the future. And hey, do you want him to go out there and throw 35 touchdowns and 5,000 yards next year? Of course, but as long as he takes that next step and shows that he's the guy moving forward, and he begins to be a guy that will win you games instead of just simply keep you in games, that's what's important.
We heard offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur say ultimately quarterbacks are judged based off of wins and losses. Sidney, last year, 5 games for Drew Lock. He went 4-1. There's been a lot of hype around him this offseason.
There's been a ton of hype, and I'm not going to lie, I am on the hype train with them. And Eric, I think you said it. Drew Lock is the quarterback of the future, and I think that's why there's been so much hype around him because, the last 4 seasons, the Broncos really haven't had a steady quarterback, and I think that's why Broncos country is so excited because they see him here for a while, and they see him as a franchise quarterback. I think that's why everyone's so excited.
And he certainly has that athleticism, running around the pocket, a big arm. And we've seen him doing some of those workouts this offseason like Peyton Manning used to do. Eric, no reason why he shouldn't be able to match what he did last year.
Oh, certainly. I mean, if you kind of extrapolate out his stats, it's about 22 touchdowns, 3,200 yards. I'd expect him to blow past that, in part because he's taking another step forward, in part because the players around him are better, in part because I think Pat Shurmur is going to utilize a system that emphasizes the deep pass. So Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant better be ready for those. But no, I mean, I think in year 2, you expect that development. And it's just a matter now, Phil, of when does that come? Because you don't have the OTA reps. It might be a little bit before you get those training camp reps. Maybe the preseason reps are limited. So, if Drew Lock doesn't throw for 4 touchdowns and 0 picks in week 1, I don't think people should freak out. I think all around the league, teams might be adjusting a little more slowly than usual into the season.
Well, there's no doubt that Drew Lock is the key that will make this entire offense go, and there's a lot of excitement heading into camp. What would a successful season look like for Drew Lock? We just answered that question. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of our Countdown to Camp. This time, we're taking a look at some new weapons that Drew Lock got over the offseason. For Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala, I'm Phil Moore.